Hey everybody, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Plague Inc. Evolved as we continue our series of Mega Brutal Guides. And buckle in, folks, because from here on out, things get a little bit weird. The Simian Flu, as you can see, is official movie content from the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movie. Basically, it is a pathogen that is going to uplift the apes and lead to the downfall of humanity. And for a lot of people, this is a scenario that trips them up, and I understand why. It does play very differently than what you would expect, but once you figure out a couple of tricks to this scenario, it's actually really hard not to get 5 stars, even on Mega Brutal. Like, this becomes a trivial scenario once you understand how it works. So stick with me, and it'll all make sense. As far as our genetic code, I'm going to go for the ATP boost just because this does speed up the early game and that does drag a little bit. I'm not relying on red bubbles for DNA, so no reason not to. There is a unique set of genes over here, and of the bunch, I recommend cortisol sensitivity, which reduces the amount of research from Genesis Labs. You'll see what those are in a bit. Terracite actually does make sense here because we want to spread by land to other apes, so I'm not worried about islands. I just want to infect apes as quick as possible. Extremophile is still good, and there is a second set of unique genes over here, and of the bunch, I recommend Together Strong, which is going to generate extra DNA for us. If you don't know what this is, it'll all make sense in a bit. Don't even worry about it. We'll call this one Disaster Throbbing, sure, and that is fine. Now, as far as the starting location, we're not going to be starting in Saudi Arabia for once. I want to go where the apes are, and that means Western, Central, and Eastern Africa. Maybe Indonesia, but I don't think it's a good starting location. Maybe don't do that. Central Africa is going to be fine for me. We'll just go ahead and pick that up. And now we are casually going to wait around until we have 15 DNA, because I need to pick up a special ability that is going to help us break out of this Genesis lab that is currently studying the apes and kick everything off for us. So one more point will do the job. There we go. Let's go to abilities and pick up the Simian Neuro-Genesis. It is time for the apes to rise. They will escape from their lab, and now they are out in the wild. And this opens up a new set of data for us than we are used to. But take a look down over here. We are used to seeing infected or dead humans. We could also see how many apes are now intelligent out of all the wild ones. Also, how many have been killed by the humans. But you get the idea, which is pretty helpful. So now, in order to help facilitate the spread of this disease amongst the apes and kind of uplift all of them, we're going to go for the Ape Colonies. This is not only going to make it a little bit better for us to spread amongst other apes, but it's also going to let us start generating some extra DNA. And we are going to be relying very, very heavily on this for a number of different reasons. Mainly, this scenario is designed to screw you over on DNA. You see, you are already used to having things like the genetic drift, making everything more expensive as you infect not only the humans, but in this case also the apes. But on top of that, there's also some extra special genetic shift in this scenario, which over time will make everything more expensive. In fact, by the end of this scenario, don't be surprised if some of the symptoms cost well over 100 points. To that end, I am going to be relying on mutation not only to get me some early symptoms for some severity, but also to get me my really late game symptoms because I won't be able to afford them normally. The only problem with mutation is this right here, Neuro-Enhancement. This makes the humans more intelligent, and therefore they cure you faster. Whenever this mutates, you have to bite the bullet and devolve it, which kind of sucks. Or you could commit and go further down that tree and try to eventually destroy all the humans that way, but I don't recommend going down that direction. Don't even worry about it. Let's go back to transmissions. I do want to pick up the Inter-Genus Dissemination, which is going to improve our ape-to-ape transmission, so we'll get more intelligent apes faster, and the amount of DNA we're going to get from these colonies increases the more apes you have in one location. This also increases mutation chance, which is why I prefer it over the other two options, which are going to give you more ape-to-ape transmission. Over here, let's go ahead and pick up Cognitive Shift. This increases the amount of DNA that we will be getting from some of these green bubbles, which we'll hopefully see another one. There we go, right there. And I also want to go for Education, which does the same thing. So basically, I am trying to stack up my DNA generation as rapidly as I can. Now we want to look at placing down a second colony if we can. So some of the intelligent apes will naturally kind of wander and infect nearby countries like normal land transmission. That's kind of what I'm looking for. You can't place down a second colony in the same country, and you can only place down colonies in places that are also infected. Nothing else is infected right now, so I kind of just have to move on and hope that we'll get one soon. We'll pick up Organized Travel over here, which functions very similar to the hordes from the Necrovirus. We will now be able to move our apes around. And not just the camps. And this is one of the things that I think throws a lot of people off in this scenario. They think they can only move the camps around, and it's not true. Once you understand that that is not true, everything becomes so much easier, but you'll see. Come on, there's a Neuro-Enhancement. That's not what I'm looking for. I need one more point before I can devolve that, so now we have to waste some DNA. Come on, have we infected another... Why haven't we infected another nation yet? This is unlucky. Normally, by now, I have at least 2 other nations already infected. Most of the world's apes are already getting infected because Central Africa has so very many of them. There we go. Now we can place one in Western Africa, and I can go for a 3rd colony, which I should do by about now, and try to hit up, let's say, Sudan. So we'll save up a few more points to do that. Western Africa also has a lot of wild apes in it, so it makes sense. Actually, you know what? Since we got it, let's go ahead and place in Eastern Africa. That's optimal. These are the 3 best places to have some colonies at the beginning of the game. All right. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to send our apes on a bit of a hike. So, like I said, you can do organized travel, but you don't have to select the nation that already has a camp in it. Instead, you can pick any of the ones that are adjacent to it that have some intelligent and some wild apes in it. And what I'll do is click on, let's say, Sudan, and all of the intelligent apes that are in this country are going to go on a long trip, let's say all the way to Japan. And I want to be very intentional about how I place this path. Why? Because every country I pass through with the apes, as long as we have some ape-to-ape transmission, and we do, they will automatically infect the local apes as well. So by sending these guys on a long trek, we are now spreading disease amongst all these other countries. We're not infecting humans, we're just infecting apes. And I want to have an infected ape in every single country of the world as quickly as we can. Let's do the same thing here with, let's say, Libya. And we're going to travel up to, let's try hitting right about, I think, here-ish. See if we can hit up Finland, Sweden, and Norway at the same time. That would certainly be nice. They're very slow. You can speed this process up if you go for logistics. You can go for seafaring, horseback riding, and so on, but I don't usually find that I need to spend the points on it. Now, you might be wondering, why are you so keen on sending the apes from these neighboring countries? Because as long as there are wild apes still here and it is adjacent to a colony, they'll get reinfected eventually. So even though I'm emptying this country of infected apes, that'll fix itself eventually, and I'm not serious. When I want to have every single country infected, I mean what I say here. So let's go through Libya all the way up into Greenland. We're going to try to hit up a lot of Western Europe, get through Iceland and so on. That'll be great. Do the same thing here with Angola, trying to start making our way over to, let's say, southern Peru, which will pass through Brazil and Bolivia and so on as well. Again, a very slow process, but I think that's going to be fine. Now, before things get more expensive, I'm going to go ahead and start picking up some abilities we know we're going to need, but like already, Cold Resistance 1 is 19 DNA, which is quite a lot, I'm aware. But I want to pick those up now. Even though I'm not relying on the human transmission quite yet, it will be better to have this right now rather than later when things can't be afforded, right? That's the main reason I'm doing it. And we've got time. We have to wait for the apes to move around anyway, so we might as well lay the groundwork for everything to be successful. Now, I do want to go for a 4th colony pretty soon. I'll probably place it in a good place like, let's say, India if we can, but if we take a look here on the map, yeah, you can see we are carving a path through the world right now and infecting a whole bunch of countries, and that is exactly what we are going for. So let's save up some more DNA. There's another camp. Let's place one in, let's say, India over here. That'll be great. And then as it infects some of the nearby countries, like, let's say, Southeast Asia and stuff, we can send folks from there, go through the islands down to New Zealand, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. It all makes sense. It's all coming together. Let's go from Algeria all the way up into, I guess, Canada will be fine, maybe the US as well. Again, it's going to take them a long time to swim, but these are very resilient little apes, so I'm not worried about them. I think they're going to be just fine. We can go through China and try to get down into Australia and pass through Indonesia and stuff. That'll be fine. I could do the same thing here with Pakistan. Well, actually, wait, hang on. Pakistan almost has all of their wild apes infected. Again, I want to only move people out of countries that have some wild apes left. We can still do this, though. So let's try... It's not a great spot. Let's try going through... Can I get the Philippines from here? I might be able to hit the Philippines if I go down this route. So we are going to try. We'll see if that works. New Zealand is still a little bit out of reach, and that does bother me. We're going to have to try, so if I miss, like, the Philippines, we'll have another shot at it. We're getting lots of DNA right now, though, so things are working. Let's go from Morocco through, let's say, Cuba and get into Mexico. And I want to make sure we're not missing too much in Europe. We're missing Spain, Germany, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan, so a few more places that I need to infect. Libya's been fully infected. I don't want to go out of there. Egypt has just a few left. So we can try to hit that up. Let's go up to Kazakhstan like so. Anywhere else? Sudan still has a few to go. Go to Germany. This does cost me a lot of DNA, I know, but like it'll be worth it in the end. It'll be worth it in the end. At some point, everything's going to come together. We're going to infect the world in one giant fell swoop and then just obliterate the humans, and they will have no idea what happened. So we're going to hit these islands. I do still need Madagascar. We can go from Zimbabwe, and that is relatively safe. What else can we do? We need to place down the... well, we don't need to go for another colony. Let's go ahead and pick up another level of drug and cold resistance for now. And then we'll go for colony number 5. We're generating plenty of DNA. Like, I'm not really feeling the pain here too much. I just would rather go ahead and pick these up, because now cold resistance level 2 is 50 DNA. Oh my god, I'm not even kidding, guys. It's insane how expensive this is. I want to have another colony set up over here in North and South America. That's why it's not a priority right now. We'll worry about that just a little bit later. There's my 50 DNA. Oh, now it's 54. Freaking heck. All right. But because we have so many apes in these countries, we're doing fine. I really don't want to move these colonies in Africa unless I absolutely have to. Because so many apes are congregating right now, it gets me a lot of DNA. Now, we could go on that even further. If I pick up, let's say, ape migration, all of the apes will start congregating in a few places. And when that happens, we'll get even more DNA. But then I won't have countries with infected apes in them. And that does not suit my purposes at all. So I strongly, strongly advise not doing that. For some reason, by the way, Iceland did not actually get infected, so we're going to try to fix that. New Zealand, I know we are still missing. Southeast Asia's done. We've kind of hit everything already. That's unfortunate. I am going to try to go from, let's say... it doesn't matter. Let's go from Indonesia, and we'll just try to infect this again later on or something. It'll be fine. It's not too far from a camp. We'll be able to solve it. If you miss 1 or 2 countries, it's not the end of the world. It just isn't ideal. It isn't ideal at all. All right, can we place down another colony? Yes, we can place one in Colombia. That's great. And what is left? Just the rest of North America, Iceland, and New Zealand, which means it's time to get going. So you may have seen a pop-up a little bit ago about people complaining, yep, here we go, about a disease that escaped from a Genesis lab. So this is basically people saying, well, that's why everyone's getting sick in Central Africa, and this is the cue that things are about to kick off for you, so you need to be ready to go right about now. It's time to look into getting the Hominidae Bridge. This is what's going to make it so that if there is an infected nation, ape in a nation, then everyone there is going to start getting infected. So that's why I want to have every single nation hit by some of these apes. It just makes sense. So at this point, I would say enough places are fine, like we've actually got apes in transition everywhere, that I think we could safely go ahead and pick this up. And I'm going to, let's go for the Hominidae Bridge, then we're going to go back to our abilities and we're going to pick up Ape Rampage. This is meaning that the apes now can fight against the humans whenever they start to cure us with a new Genesis lab, which is going to be happening very soon. And pause at this point because you're going to be getting a stupid number of red bubbles. Hopefully we have a lot of severity in order to help boost that up. Still looking pretty okay here, honestly, as far as some of these mutations. Not like outstanding, but, you know, not bad. Let's go for the Primal Hunt, which makes combat even more effective, and we'll come back to weapons later. Now we can go to transmissions. I want to go for some fomites, which obviously means we are going to be better in the wealthy and urban environments. So this means that Europe is going to fall relatively quickly. I also want to get some blood, which makes the poor countries more vulnerable, and that's going to lead to something special called Extreme Hemoaerosol, which is kind of like our Extreme Bioaerosol. It's just going to make, you know, the disease spread a heck of a lot faster. So that's all the transmissions we should need at this point. Now, whenever a Genesis lab appears, which is going to happen fairly soon, we want to attack it. Now, you don't have to move your camp to the location of the lab in order to attack it, and this is where it is still helpful to leave some of your apes in every single country in the world. We can do an ape rampage and just destroy it that way. So far, we've gotten quite lucky. There has not been a lab that's popped up, so we're looking pretty good. Let's go for the weapon creation. We're just going to go for even more combat effectiveness. What is left here? There's a Genesis lab right there. So we have indeed, at this point, got apes in every single country in the world, which means no matter where they place down a lab, we can immediately respond to it. And since there's one in West Africa, let's go ahead and hit the rampage and attack. Whoop, game, did you crash? Whoa! I've never had this happen. It crashed. Wait, nope, it just was delayed. Okay, we're good. We're good. That was weird. Whenever these labs are present, they are going to be working on the cure, so you have to destroy them immediately, and that is why you do not ever go for the ape migration. It is a trap. It is a mistake. Simply do not do it. Now we're going to go back to our symptoms, because I do want to slow down the cure where I can. We're going to go for subconjunctival hemorrhage and blindness next. Those are going to slow down the cure by quite a lot, which is good. We can also go for things like the headache. That's going to lead to a fever, and eventually a coma. 73 DNA in order to get a coma. My God, that is absolutely nuts. All right, there's a new lab in Brazil. All right, so again, we have a camp nearby, but I don't need to move it. Let's go ahead and attack with the apes we already have there, and it's an instantaneous thing. We destroy it, and prevent any more of the cure progress. Does it all make sense now? This is the trick. If you can do this, you are going to be doing just fine with this scenario. Just keep an eye out for these whenever they pop up. I saw one in Australia, and now I'm going to get it. 93 DNA for the coma now! Oh my god. It's just not fair. It's insane. The genetic shift in this scenario is designed to make you rage. But we've got so much DNA coming in, it's okay. 117 DNA now! Oh my gosh. Every time that I think I'm on top of it, I am wrong. We'll go for meningitis next after this, just trying to boost up some of that lethality. Hold on! Finland, no. Whenever this cure starts moving up fast, it means you've missed something. Destroy one in Poland as well. Goodbye. No problem. This does set back the cure a tiny bit whenever you destroy one, by the way, in case you did not know. 133 DNA to get meningitis. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's not even funny, man. It's not even funny how bad this shift actually ends up being. But the cool thing is, because we are generating so much DNA, at some point, like, we are going to be overpowering this scenario in terms of how you calculate score. Like, speed does not matter. The complexity is going to be very, very high. We're going to have so much DNA, we're just going to rake out a massive score, and I won't even be trying, honestly. Just going through the normal solution here is a guaranteed 5-star victory. We could go for a 6th colony at this point, by the way, if we wanted to, but I'm not worried about it. Go ahead and devolve that. I'm not going to let the humans get smarter. I am mean in that way. You could go for a bit more combat advantage if you go for something like primal awareness, and there's more stuff down here. But basically, instead, here's another thing we can look at. So if there's a nation that is not fully infected, in this case, Iceland, Canada, and Russia, and they're dragging behind, what you can do is just trigger an ape rampage, and they will forcibly spread the disease in whatever country you target. So if I say, Iceland, you're going too slow, apes, rise up, and they will attack the humans and spread the disease extra fast. So if you're going for a little bit faster speed, that is the way to do it. Also, global action is now agreed upon against the apes. This is basically the humans deciding they're going to drone strike us, which is going to be annoying, and it's the only time you really should have to move your camps. But now that every human has been infected in the world, it's just a matter of waiting for a lot of people to die, so I'm not really worried about it. Waiting for that drone strike. You're going to have one in just a second here. I know we are. Come on, show one. I want to show one for the camera. There it is. They're targeting us in India. All right, let's go ahead and just simply move these guys. We don't even have to leave the country. Just get out of range of this red circle, and you're going to be fine. So you don't have to go far, which means you're still generating more DNA, and all's going to be well. Okay, there we go. Now it's turned blue, so you know you're fine. Let's get another camp, and I'll place it up in Germany or something. I don't know. Just for a little bit of variation. At this point, all I'm doing is waiting for the humans to die off so we can create our planet of the apes. Let's go for hydrocephalus. This is going to boost up our lethality just a smidge more. But things are becoming a little bit more affordable now because so many humans are dying, which is great. Let's go ahead and move from Germany into the Ukraine. Problem solved there. Come on, just need a couple 100,000 more humans to die. Once there are more apes than there are humans, generally speaking, that is the end of things. So just a few hundred more million humans to die out. It's gonna happen. We could go for hypocoagulability. Cool. At this point, it doesn't matter. Just like pick up whatever you can afford that has lethality. You know, you could let mutation carry you from here. We've got everything we need already. It doesn't even matter. And the scenario is 1. So now it's just a question of, is this going to be a record score for me or no? Probably not. Right? I wouldn't say that this run happened to work out perfectly for me, but it did do pretty good. So now that there are more apes than there are humans, we have created the planet of the apes. The humans are now a subservient species, and we get 432,000 points, 5 stars easily, even though it did take over 1,000 days. It's nuts. It's a nuts strategy, but basically you just go in phases. Phase 1, infect every single country with an infected ape. Phase 2, rise up, kill all humans. That's it. It's super duper easy, no problems with the Simian Flu. Again, if you follow this strategy, you're not going to have any trouble whatsoever. And it's very consistent too. Like, it doesn't require very much luck at all, except for the Neuro-Enhancement. If you can avoid that, you'll be fine. Thank you all for watching. Hope you found this video exciting and informative in some way. We have one video to go left in this series, so stay tuned, and then we will move on to After Ink as soon as it arrives. Be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.